Welcome once more to Behind the Screen. We are on episode 9 of season 9. I'll drop the overall number count until we hit that big 100. But we are being friendly reminded. What? Friendly reminder, I do not speak for Onyx Path, nor is this project official material. All views and opinions expressed are my own. This material will be available to buy on the StoryPath Nexus. I am merely a grateful fan with a platform. I am also disabled. I do experience muscle twitches and spasms that can lead to stuttering and a worsening and slurring of speech. I have a stammer anyway, it just makes it worse. And I do also struggle with multiple trains of thought. I will try to finish one before jumping on to the next, but if you raise a point in chat, I will try my hardest to acknowledge it before finishing what I am talking about. Before we get into the show, as usual, we're going to have a real quick visit to the Monday meeting notes, the best place to go for any updates regarding Onyx Path, their games and their products in general. I guess two big things. There's no current crowdfunding campaign. However, there will be. Apparently, there's one coming this month. It is the Curseborn Jumpstart. If you're interested in Curseborn, Onyx Path's urban horror game, and I'm waiting for like the perfect product to get in on the game, that will be it. Usually, a Jumpstart is a selection of the rules, everything you need to play, and an adventure. So that should be pretty exciting. There's also some more teasers on future Curseborn products. The StoryPath Nexus Game Jam is currently running. That runs until... Wait, while it loads. I think it's the 16th, but I don't want to say for certain. Oh, I'm scrolling through. I passed April 10th. I apologize, April the 10th, which is this coming Friday, actually, as of time of recording. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you have missed out on the ability to enter this week's game jam, unfortunately. But hey, you can still use the Create an Adventure prompt to write something. You can still put it on a community content platform. You can still make money. There's just no judges to look at it, alack and or alas. And there are two bundles going. There is a Pugmire bundle live on Fanatical. I believe it's every first edition book. And there is a Scion Bundle of Holding on the Bundle of Holding platform. I think that's the most relevant things to discuss. Just double checking with regards to Trinity Continuum Adventure, as that is the theme of the season, series, what have you. And with regards to anything I've personally contributed to, and I'm very excited that Pugmire 2 Unleashed is still in the layout queue with some map fixes happening. Alas, that seems to be the only thing I've worked on that has had an update this week. Obviously, there are other things within the pipeline that don't get mentioned on the update because there's a monthly roundup for that. So, I think that's it. Oh, also, shout out to Onyx Path Virtual Gaming Convention, June the 5th to the 7th, 2026. On sale this week, we have Curseborn, A Cursed Adventures, Scenarios of Pain, Guilt, and Sorcery. It is a creature of pure nightmare, a series of grisly, sadistic deaths, and an accursed family wanting to re-emerge into our world. 3 scenarios suitable for independent storylines or a haunting, interconnected narrative. New adversaries, qualities, and dread powers for the story guide, and heirlooms for the player accursed, and a thriving setting of liminalities, accursed with their own intrigues, and myriad side plots. Now, before we get started proper, I do want to admit, I'm trying to practice what I preach around mental health and burnout. Those of you who've caught the last few shows, you probably won't be surprised to learn, hey, I'm still burned out. Turns out autistic burnout lasts a while, who knew? And I'm still, working around it as best I can. So it's very prolonged, and the situation isn't going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. So I'm doing the best I can. I'm still trying to give you some content, but it won't be the full 2 hours. So I'm just going to write as much as I can write, like I did last time. reach what feels like a natural break point and reevaluate. I'm probably only going to be able to manage to the first natural break point just because of how tired I'm feeling. And also staring into the ring light not staring into the ring light. Looking in the direction of the ring light isn't helping any. So we'll have to play it by ear with regards to that. I'm hoping for the 500 words, but if it gets too much, I will just call the stream early, and just have to apologize to anyone watching, really. So, what is behind the screen? Just as a recap for those who don't know, it's a content creation show. I talk about how to write content for tabletop role-playing games, Onyx Paths specifically, because they're kind enough to give me the platform. But it hopefully it's broadly applicable to any publisher, any game line. The content is there to give me something to do while chat isn't bombarding me with questions. So please do ask questions if you have, if any occur to you. I will answer if I can. If not, I'll try to point you in the right direction. And this season of the show specifically is focused on Trinity Continuum Adventure, a pulp action supplement for the Trinity Continuum game line, set kind of 1930s-ish, but you've got lost worlds, dinosaurs, plenty of Nazis to punch, explosions ahoy, that kind of thing, larger-than-life characters doing incredible things, think like Indiana Jones and The Lost World, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, and I guess King Solomon's Mines. And you're not too far off. This series of the show has been a bit different. I have discussed the importance of planning an outline for people who prefer to write with plans and outlines, and how they can help with scope creep, and how important they can be to learn when learning the important writing skills for if you're trying to break into the freelance market, or if you're trying to be an indie game designer. Just in general, writing to word counts can be kind of useful, and knowing how to do that consistently and well, it's a valuable skill to learn whenever you're doing anything, even if it's just writing content for your own games, for your own players to use. I've also talked about scene breakdowns, and by now, long-time viewers of the show, sick to death of my established 3-scene introductory adventure breakdown of low-stakes investigation, and then you go out on the higher combat scene, purely because I keep talking about it every dang time, but it genuinely seems to work, so I'm going to keep hammering on about it. And then so far, in Rise of the Iron Tyrant, the name of this introductory adventure, I have covered a blimp and its crash. I have covered a series of vignettes leading to the crashing blimp, and now we're on the final scene 3 of the adventure, infiltrating the Nazi base and dealing with the problem at the end of it. Last time I did the opening of the scene with the scene overview and like how to get into the base. And now we come to the base. So that's what we're going to type first. And this is, in theory, going to be about 500 words. Again, 1,500 words is for me at least, healthy writing goal to achieve in a day, and sustainable. I can do more for short periods, but I don't recommend it. Having to do more for short periods is kind of why I'm in the state I am right now, because every time I hit a deadline, more work comes my way, and I have to balance that around everything else I'm doing, which is kind of a humble brag, I guess, but it also is contributing. I should say no, I really should, but I can't afford to, literally. So it is, it's a vicious circle of work and burnout leading to work, but leading to more burnout. But I need the work, and it's horrible. That wasn't a cyclical in any way, you idiot. Continue with the writing, you fool. No one wants to know about this. So, the base. Let's start with a tiny bit of read aloud text, the usefulness of which has been discussed to death already on this series of the show. Cool air of the installation. Carries the sounds of industry and movement from further within the bunker. Plain concrete walls guide you towards metal staircase descending into the earth. Posters and instructions stenciled on the wall. Are written in German. And I don't think I've explicitly stated Nazis here, so I might. Oh, no, I have. And include Nazi imagery. A series of humming electric lights point you deeper into that. Illuminate the way as you descend. So bunker, open the door, stairs going down, complex itself. Illuminate the way as you descend. Stairs terminating in a corridor with a map directly ahead of you. So because I'm not gonna, I don't think anyway, I might make one, probably won't. Not going to include a map with this. Probably do what I've done before with I did above with the, or previously with the jungle, and just list the important rooms. And then just, unlike the jungle, however, this section could be ignored, and then they just go straight to the end, to the fight. That's totally fine. Or they can go through these rooms and learn a bit more, maybe gather some more resources. The important rooms found within the main rooms. Main rooms are shown on the map and detailed here. You are encouraged to add any additional rooms or build upon the descriptions below to make the adventure your own, or to provide story seeds for future adventures. Something I want to get better. Something I want to get better at, personally, is, and this is taking a lot of unlearning because of work that I do outside of Onyx Path, for GM focused supplements that are, here's a bunch of things you can use, but not really any advice to go with it. So my natural inclination is to provide advice, to talk directly to the GM, to be like, hey, you can do this, this is how you can use this is how you can use that, whatever. And that's something I've had to unlearn, and I'm trying to relearn it. So something I'm trying to do when I'm writing, something I hope to try to do more when I'm writing these introductory adventures, because I still owe, I still have 2 Scion ones to write. 3 Scion ones to write, sorry. Yeah, hero, demigod, god. And the others I do is to remember that the introductory adventure is not just for the player. It may also be to introduce the GM story guide to the game, which is why I've started including page numbers. Like this is the key thing that we'll be examining in this scene, etc. Obviously, when it comes to subsequent adventures to build on the introductory one, that's less of an issue. Thinking here with like Scion, or if I did anything relating to my game jam winning entry, wink, from a few years ago, Begin Again, where I could do more with that. I could use that to be like, hey, this is what happened in this adventure, and now here's another adventure taking place X years after, and oh, by the way, here's another adventure. Now we're using Aberrant, but the situation is this, and it calls back to these adventures. And try to... I guess what I'm trying to say is when writing, try to remember that the person to... In this context, obviously not in every context, but try to remember to include stuff helpful for the person to support the person you're writing for, if that makes sense. Because this adventure, yes, it's primarily for the story guide. I might include characters, I might not. I haven't decided either way yet. If I do, I probably won't make those on stream, because I don't think it's terribly entertaining watching one person make 4 characters on stream. But this material is here to support the story guide in the adventure. Yes, and that is the point of pre-written adventures and content, pre-written content. But its explicit purpose is to introduce players to the game, and the story guide is also a player at the table, and so there needs to be that advice for story guides who are new to the game in general, hence page references, and be like, this is what we're focusing on in this scene. You might read upon it if that's useful, but also just new story guides who this might be their first time story guiding, or may not be as comfortable with improvising as other people are, or may not necessarily realize, if their brain works the way mine does, that you can take a pre-written adventure and change it and make it your own. I've discussed this before, I'll probably discuss it again, about how if something is written down, that's it, that's the way it has to be. So I'm trying to be better at including more explicit references to, you can make this your own adventure, that is totally fine, but here is everything you need to run a complete adventure. Long digression, but we shall continue. To make the adventure your own, or to provide story seeds for future adventures. The characters may go straight. Let's just, for now, room XX, because I don't know what number it's going to end up being. But it would be, I guess, research hangar. Without investigating further. If they do, that's okay. The other rooms might provide insight into what's happening, or give them the opportunity to gain new equipment, but it's their choice about it's their choices that drive the story, not this text. Room 1, the Armory. Armory, that's an entirely different kind of room, and probably not allowed on the StoryPath Nexus. Just realised I never sent out any live messages. Well, too late now. I'm doing my thing. Room 1, the Armory. Shelves of guns, knives, and body armor line the walls of this small boxy room. Each is carefully labeled and stored. Characters can take any weapons or equipment that they would logically find in an armory. Are there pre-written examples in either Trinity Continuum Adventure or the core rulebook? Probably just going to be in the core rulebook, but here we are. Oh, wait, no. At the very least, the characters can find bolt-action military rifles, submachine guns, sorry. Machine guns, submachine guns, alright, how can I, and then Trinity Continuum has knives and body armor. Where was that? Weapons. Gosh dang it, you fool. I guess it'd be a flak jacket. The closest equivalent. Let's just say that the characters can find this list of this list of items. The characters can find pistols, Continuum Core, page 125. Flak jacket. I don't know how I wrote armor. Did again. I'm a fool. Trinity Continuum Core page 126. 126, not 136. You know what? Let's do this. Following from Trinity Continuum Core pages 125. Oops, nope. Nope, keep messing up the ASCII code. Please. Why have my ASCII codes changed? What? Oh, I know what I'm doing. There we go. I forgot the 0 at the start. 125, 126. Pistols and flak jackets. The following items from Trinity Continuum Adventure. And those are all on pages 177 and 178. Can also be found. Knives. There's probably knives. Ah, knives are also on the example weapons table. Knives, pistols, and flak jackets. Reminder that using the Oxford comma is not a surefire sign of generative AI usage in the slightest. And much as with the M-dash, you can pry the Oxford comma from my cold, dead, and grasping hands. That's a grammar joke. That's where I'm at. That's the armory. Rec room. The sounds of merriment. Can be heard coming from within. Approaching this door silently requires a difficulty 2. A survival, or larceny or survival. Plus dexterity roll. That should be that. There we go. A small window in it shows 4 guards during their downtime, relaxing while off duty. Door has a lock on it that can be broken with a difficulty 2, larceny or technology. Plus dexterity roll. The lock is broken. Door can't be opened from the inside. Armory, rec room. I'm just looking at the word count. I've got 200 words left. So maybe 2 rooms. One of which is the research hangar. I guess it's like research laboratory. Go to the map directly ahead of you. The map shows a handful of key rooms, including a research hangar with river access, as well as numerous smaller rooms. Hi Ari, how you doing? Yeah, the hangar's gonna be 4. Research laboratory, what would be in here? Sterile white walls are covered in blackboards upon which intricate diagrams and equations have been meticulously written is the wrong word because diagrams. I'll come back to this during editing. Chalk. One wall is taken up by a large computer. It's a terminal. Blinking slowly in the center. Right, so full of tables in this room. They host 2 neat piles of that's too many words on the read aloud. Boom. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Understanding the board requires a difficulty or enigmas or technology plus intellect rule and reveals the subject matter to be creation of artificial intelligence. Pulp, anything can happen. Yeah, sure, I'm going slightly sci-fi with this, but here we are. It's robo dinosaurs, sue me. Please don't, I have no money. It's not worth it. character who can read German. Gains +2 enhancement on roll. If they study paperwork first. If the characters have the metal punch card from scene 2, they can activate the terminal and print out the schematics for Project Iron Tyrant. A robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex. Running out of words for the research hangar. Although, to be fair, the research hangar is kind of like Tyrant, you say. Yes. Tyrannosaurus, Tyrant Lizard. Nothing about this was intended to reflect modern geopolitics, because I started this series of the show the 8th of October 2024. Got 3 episodes in and then just kind of disappeared from the internet for a short period. We won't talk about that. The double doors leading into the research hangar are guarded. Secured with a strange device. There are 2 guards on this door, and they will attempt to alert the guards in room 2. We'll join the fight if the lock isn't broken. As those in the hangar as the characters approach. Right, I need to check something. So I did a similar thing for Onyx Path Virtual Con. Was it last year? I honestly can't remember when it was, chat. I think it was last year. 2024. Good grief. I really should release tidy this up and release it. With the players traveling through the halls location. So I'm just seeing if I included anything in that with a like roving patrol mechanic. I don't think I did, looking at it. I'm kind of rereading this, and it kind of reads like I was assuming I had one, or I had a roving mechanic in mind. Although I guess failing any roll is... Hey, Brigged. I guess failing any roll is just, like, gods turn up. Two armed guards. Failing any roll in this section. Summons two armed guards. There we go. This is just a quick and dirty way of having... You can explore, but if you fail a roll, guards will arrive. Should probably have a locked door here. Picking the lock on this door requires a... difficulty 1 larceny plus dexterity roll. Okay, so let's see if I can prune this down to 4,000 words exactly. The base. The cool air of the installation carries the sounds of industry movement from further within the bunker. Plain concrete walls guide you towards a metal staircase descending into the earth. Let's get rid of this. As you descend, stairs terminate in a corridor direct. Terminate in a corridor with map direct with a map. Oops. Boop. Boop. Showing a handful of key rooms, including a research hangar with river access. Directly ahead of you. The bunker's main rooms are shown on the map and detailed here, but you are encouraged to add any additional rooms or build upon the descriptions below. To make the adventure your own or to provide story seeds for future adventures. The characters may go straight to room 4, research hangar without investigating further. If they do, that's okay. The other rooms might provide insight into what's happening or give them the opportunity to gain equipment, but it's their choices that drive the story, not this text. Failing any role in this section summons 2 armed guards. No, Microsoft Word. They have 2 arms, yes, but it's not... It's... No. Does that pop up? Oh, it doesn't. So, Microsoft Word is suggesting 2 armed, as in the guards have 2 arms, rather than 2 armed guards. Which is not incorrect, but it's not what I need right now. Room 1, the armory. Shelves of guns and knives and body armor land also the small boxy room. Each is carefully labelled and stored. Picking a lock on this door requires a difficult one last dexterity roll. The characters can find the following from Trinity Continuum Core. Why is that? an entirely different font. Interesting. Nice pistol, flat jackets, fire. Guns, we found bolt action, military rifles, submachine guns, and submachine guns. Right, room 2, the rec room. Sounds like merriment can be heard from within. Approaching this door silently requires the good to do last minute dexterity roll. Small window and it shows 4 guards relaxing while off duty. The door has a lock in it that can be broken with the do last minute dexterity plus technology plus dexterity roll. If the lock is broken, the door can't be opened from the inside. Congratulations on your 3-stream streak, Hot Dog Wizard. That's not an easy feat. Sometimes, for some people. There we go, that's what I'm trying to say. I hope you are doing well. Room 3 of the research laboratory is sterile. White walls are covered in blackboards upon which intricate diagrams and equations have been meticulously written in chalk. One wall is taken up by a large computer. Its terminal blinking slowly in the center. Understanding the blackboards requires a difficulty for ignoring this technology plus interact roll and reveals the subject matches to be the creation of artificial intelligence. Any character who can read German games gains +2 enhancement on the roll if they studied the paperwork first. If the characters have the metal punch card, I'm gonna hyphenate that. From scene 2, they can activate the terminal and print out the schematics of Project Iron Tyrant, a robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex. Side note, would have been a lot funnier if I did it as a Nano-Tyrannus, but I'm not. Room 4, the research hangar. The double doors leading to the research hangar are guarded. There are 2 guards on this door, and they will attempt to alert the guards in room 2, who will join the fight if the lock isn't broken, as well as those in the hangar as the characters approach. I've got 2 words that I could put anywhere. There's some weird line spacing going on here. Sorry. Yeah. I feel like there's a weird line issue. Odd. Did Pilcrow tell me anything? Sure doesn't. Maybe it's related to... I don't know, because that was further down. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The read loud text is fine. Don't mess with the read loud text. Hang on. Failing any roll in this section summons 2 armed guards. Okay. I feel like I could do with building on something. Like the research hangar just gets a very small afternote because of the word investment to the research laboratory. If the characters are depicted as they approach. 2 words back to the read loud text. Posters and instructions stenciled in German. Painted. Wait, what? On the wall, a series of electric lights illuminate the way as you descend. There's to the corridor with a map showing a handful of key. There we go, 4,000 words exactly. And we save. Hey, Oka GM. I don't know what to do, chat. Because I feel like I could maybe finish this today, but I've only been actually writing for 50 minutes, and I don't know if mentally I'm up to finishing it today is the problem. But equally, I don't want to drag it out and just have a really short stream. I don't think anyone wants or needs that. but adding, like, stitching the videos together doesn't make sense because I stream bi-weekly or fortnightly if you prefer. So I just don't know what to do. What time is it? I'll try pushing through. With the caveat that I may just finish if I need to. If the brain fog gets too bad. The research hangar. Ahead of you, the vast industrial space. I mean, I can do it. It's just the burnout, you know? How it works, can't actually listen, but hope everyone's doing well. There we go. Can't listen, I'll type. Echoing with the sounds of machinery. A handful of technicians work on a bulky metallic shape looming beneath powerful lights hanging from the ceiling. A dinosaur given cold, steely on a bulky, horrifying cold metallic form. An officer stands near it, leather discussion with the scientist. And 4 guards stand in the center of each wall. The river access is... Oh, chat, what are they called? Hang on. Hang on. Research break. Inclined elevator, I guess. The river access is an inclined elevator. On the far side. Platform already loaded with boxes. Already partially loaded with boxes. Characters must all pass a... I don't know why I wrote dexterity, I was thinking difficulty. Larceny or survival. Plus dexterity roll to enter the room unnoticed if the alarm wasn't raised by the guards in the corridor. The alarm was raised, see below. Other people in the hangar are aware of the character's presence. Yep. So the apostrophe goes. The character. Characters can explore. Keep trying to add alert levels to the StoryPath community content. Yeah, I've done things like that. I did that for my TTF classified adventure a couple of years ago for the virtual convention, and you know, it can be fun. Can be fun. Although now I believe that TTF classified is now unlocked on the Nexus, so I really should polish that adventure and put it through layout and release it. But here we are. I don't have the time, so what you gonna do? The characters can explore freely, although failing any rolls will alert the guards. You know what? Alert the Nazis. The following points of interest can be examined. The Tyrant, inclined elevator. Hey, Plastic Age Place, how you doing? You're making it. They came from Classified Adventure for the Game Jam? Hell yeah! Classified is a fun time. I mean, they came from in general is a fun time. And Tyrant, the inclined elevator, and what else is in the read aloud text that I wouldn't personally be using? What else would there be? Nothing. It's just those two. Those are the two important bits. Studying the Iron Tyrant is a difficulty 3. Technology plus. Finishing the Onyx Path on the creature collection. Swayed before starting to stack up to get community content release you hope to knock out by tomorrow. You are a machine. But good luck. Roll. Characters have a +2 enhancement on this roll if they have the schematics from I feel like a much slower machine these days. I mean, that's just life, right? The world is awful. Everyone's slowing down because the world continues to be awful. Also, when was the last time you had a rest? I say continuing to do this after being burned out for a year plus. Success. On the bright side, the world might not be around much longer. Yes, I mean that would be an incredibly bright side if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Success reveals. Took a little downtime last week. Hell yeah, I'm proud of you. I probably should. Is capable of both. Let's rephrase it this way. Success reveals the Iron Tyrant has a directly at the side. It's true. Alright, too much for fun. I've got like 100 unfinished projects in your Google Drive. maybe finish them. Yeah, as someone who is a freelancer, I have tried, like, the projects I don't find fun don't really turn out well. It's like beating my head against the brick wall. So I try to only work on things that at least sound like they're going to be fun. Obviously, there is an element of privilege in that I have those opportunities. Fortunately, I've only had one project that wasn't fun, and I haven't had to make the judgment call since then. But I don't look forward to the moment where that happens, because I cannot afford to turn down the work, but I also don't want to make everything worse. Success reveals the Iron Tyrant has a pilot seat. In its head, as well as incapable of remote operation. Can lower the difficulty to 2 by studying. Yeah, and Tyrant at close range. Results in them being the middle of the room the event they are discovered. Sounds like poverty's ended so motivating. Hope you never got put in a position where you have to walk from check for your mentees, but I suspect one day you will. Probably. But it is yet to happen, and I'm holding out hope that it never does. Fortunately, my partner can support us both if needs be. It's just, I don't like being financially dependent on her. And I'd really like to break the 3-month streak I'm currently on of being entirely financially dependent on someone. Examining the inclined elevator requires a difficulty 2. Plus dexterity roll, reveals that the boxes are full of... Oh god, is it gauge? I think it's gauge. Ammunition is sized in, right? Caliber. Gauge is shot. Yeah. Shadows freelancer for not doing the day job last month is now the freelancer just wanting to support her. On the price side, she said the website launch go very well for Apprentice Church. That is good. I would also say that almost no one full-time freelancers. Almost no one can afford full-time freelance, I'd say. Yeah, shotguns are gauge. Yeah, thank you for confirming. Because I'm here, I believe gauge is the number of pellets required to make a pound of lead or something. I could double check that, but I'm also, you know what, the tism is strong. Gauge firearms. Gauge was determined from the weight of a solid sphere of lead that would fit the bore of the firearm. There's a whole calculation that you can follow. You full-time freelance, but your wife is a good job and we're both okay being poor. See, that's the problem. It's not a good life, but it is a life. I guess, yeah, I should amend that to be like, it's very rare to find someone who is both A, full-time freelance, and B, financially secure, stable, and well off. Or, you know, median wage income. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, so gauge is related to the weight in very reductive terms. Anyway, there's a box full of large caliber rounds. And around changing in the last game, I discovered how quickly iron bullets would destroy the interiors of firearms, even shotguns. Well, yeah, it's a hard metal going against the hard metal, and you just wear everything away. That's why things are made from copper. Full of large caliber rounds for machine guns. Mounted in belts. It's a really fun thing was nail guns with iron nails. They're a slightly different way of handling it, for sure, but yes. Pointing here, obviously, to the fact that the Robo T-Rex has giant machine guns built into it. Because that's just cool. As well as mechanical parts of an unknown purpose. Right, I need... Because there's no guarantee right now that the nail gun used gunpowder. Good lord. Good grief. I'm sure that's not a thing anymore for health and safety purposes. An inciting incident that's like, hey, they've... Because I feel like... I feel cheap saying once they've investigated both things, the combat begins. But at the same time, it has to start somehow. Thanks to the trigger. That's true. This is where I'm fighting. I'm butting up against my personal jamming philosophy, but you know, written adventures to some degree have to be railroaded. Multiple triggers for combat, such as travel. Well, there's also the guards are alerted as a trigger as well, if they fail a roll, or the guards in the corridor outside are not dispatched silently. It's true, I'm not writing a novel. Yeah, sure. Once both points of interest sometimes I allow things not to be triggered because I like rewarding creativity. Well, the thing is, at this point, the only thing that ideally, the players will at this point realize that they have to deal with the giant Robo T-Rex, and obviously attacking that is going to, you know, trigger combat. Once both points of interest have been examined, or the characters... hang on. I know what I can do. Let's do this. Let's just move this around so that they're in the order the text presents them. Go full Jurassic Park. Maybe. Does being capable of remote activation. Regardless of the success or failure, the characters realize the Iron Tyrant is finished, armed, and capable of great and terrible violence. Sabotaging it requires a difficulty, let's say 4. Technology plus, let's say intellect or dexterity. Dexterity or intellect for alphabetical purposes. To represent steady hands or just brain power. And if you are going to write... Let's start the sentence again. I've always worked on the principle that the more options, the better, because that allows for players to not feel like they have to have certain skills or investment in certain attributes. However, obviously, if you're writing to a word count or for clarity of purpose, it's usually advised to not present too many options. This has been consistent feedback I've gotten from Onyx Path devs, and I think I've learned from it. But this is my work, and I'm not beholden to anyone else, so I can do it. You just try to limit yourself to 3 at most. Fair. If I have in the past gone with, here is a skill plus this arena. I think I mentioned this before on the show, on the series. I don't know. It's been 9 episodes. Which kind of gets around that in a way, just by saying like it has to be a physical thing, but we don't care what you use. Sabotaging it requires difficult for technology plus dexterity or intellect roll. Minor success. Iron Tyrant rolls. For now, X fewer dice for its actions. Because I haven't started the Iron Tyrant yet, so it doesn't make sense to say it has, you know... I don't want to say it rolls 2 fewer dice and that is halving its dice pool. It probably isn't, but hopefully you're getting what I'm putting down. Examining both points of interest. Sabotaging the Iron Tyrant. Or entering the room with the... I've said there's multiple skills because that seems like the way StoryPath should work. That said, but story guys need it pointed out. That's true. That's true. I think my problem is when I've been called out on it, it's just because I've done it egregiously. And it has led to things... Like, I can see that it makes it less streamlined and it does eat into the word count. And obviously, the book is, at the end of the day, the developer's vision. So, yeah, I don't mind doing it. Part of getting hired again, folks, is listening to the people giving you instructions. That would be Enigma's technology larceny. Well, this is... Because this is adventure! It's not really hacking, it is more mechanical destruction. And I don't want it to be you can have this skill or this skill plus this attribute or this attribute. I do like to have one fixed value, but as Plastic Age Plays points out, there is freedom of choice. And this is trying to encourage that by still having some focus. It's a trade-off. Or entering the room after the guards outside have alerted, raised the alarm. Alerts everyone in the hangar and triggers the action. Adventure rules. Right, I've got 150 words. We need some kind of guidance for behavior. We need some field qualities. And I guess that's it. This scene comprises 4 armed guards, the officer, the Iron Tyrant, and 2 scientists. Oh, 2 technicians. The 3 scientists scattered around are non-combatants. Guards work together. To pin the characters in place. That's the plan. While the officer who begins at medium range from the Iron Tyrant. Tries to get into its pilot seat. And operate it. Technicians can attempt a difficulty 2 roll to restore 1 injury. But don't attack the characters. If the momentum pool is ever empty, and door to room 2 was the lock, sorry. Here's me falling back on the momentum pool for my countdown again. It's broken. The trapped guards arrive on the scene. So there's some behaviors. There is one large field dotted with, I guess, be a mix of light and heavy cover. Also, while I was preparing for today's stream, I was looking through, and finding the word dog. I realized that in my foolishness, I have simply named the folder TCA Rise of the Iron Tyrant. In case you don't know, every Trinity Continuum game line, apart from the core rulebook, starts with A, apart from Ether. But I don't know if you can have a diphthong in like file organization file structure names, whatever the phrase is. Yeah, chat. Where is it? Nope, it's not there. There we go. Utilize cover. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, light and heavy cover. Sorry, yeah, Eon, not Ether. I apologize. Aeon, I guess. A mixture of light and heavy cover. What else would be useful? Really hoping they came from the RPG anthology it's next to soon, so everyone tries some Regency romance adventures. I had the best / worst idea for something to use Bridgeton Rectory, but I don't know if I can find the players for it. Otherwise, I would absolutely have pitched it to OPP. Actually, mental note. Well, you know, while I'm thinking about it, hey, Plastic Age Plays, are you opposed to having 2 back-to-back APs during the virtual convention with the same cast? Asking for a friend. It me. Skymex says Nexus templates 13 settings is a lot. I can well imagine. 5 APs with the same cast? Excellent. Then I have something I'd like to pitch. Please don't let me forget. Would you rather... I'd assume you'd rather an email. What else would you need? Anyway, I've got like 43 words left. Fantastic. I will try to write that later today or tomorrow. Combatants, behavior, field qualities. I feel like this should be environmental factors, like not just qualities, but things that can be interacted with in the environment. A heavy cargo crane can be used with a one athletics plus strength roll. Oh, sorry. Wind. To target. Can be used as a weapon. There we go. Which window has the rulebook? Where are my weapon tags? Weapon tags. Well, probably does blunt damage, as it's a crane. Blunt, brutal, and pushing? It's the blunt, brutal, and pushing tags. And the difficulty... I need to give it an enhancement rating, but that'll happen in a moment. The difficulty increases by 1 for every range band the target is from the controls on one wall. I feel like just 2. Provides +2 in hankerment, that's not a word, enhancement, and has the blunt, brutal, and pushing tags. And the difficulty increases. Cool, that's 5 words over. I've done it. Now I need to go back through this and remove 5 words. Ahead of you, the vast industrial space echoes. With the sounds of machinery, a handful of technicians work on a bulky, horrifying shape looming beneath the powerful lights hanging from the ceiling. A dinosaur given cold, metallic form. An officer stands near it in discussion with a scientist, and 4 guards stand in the center of each wall. The river access is an inclined elevator on the far side, the platform already partially loaded with boxes. The characters must all pass the difficulty 3 larceny, also I plus dexterity, or to enter the room unnoticed if the alarm wasn't raised by the guards in the corridor. If the alarm was raised, see below. While the people in the hangar are unaware of the character's presence, the characters can explore freely, although failing any rolls will alert the Nazis. The following points of interest can be examined. The inclined elevator and the Iron Tyrant. Yeah... I don't think that needs an introduction like that. Can both be examined. Examining the elevator requires a difficulty less than dexterity on. Reveals that the boxes are full of large caliber rounds mounted in belts, as well as mechanical parts for an unknown purpose. Studying the Iron Tyrant is a difficulty 3 technology intellect roll. The characters have a +2 enhancement on this roll if they're commanded in room 3, because of the difficulty 2 by studying the Iron Tyrant close range. Sorry, this is just so there's no awkward silence, but that results in them being in the middle of the room in the event they are discovered. Success reveals the Iron Tyrant has a pilot seat in its head, as well as being capable of remote operation. Regardless of the success or failure, the characters realize the Iron Tyrant is finished on and capable of great and terrible violence. Sabotaging it requires a difficulty 4 technology plus dexterity or intellect roll. On a success, the Iron Tyrant rolls X for your dice for its actions. That will be changed once I know how many dice it's rolling. It will probably also have a... If it's piloted, it uses this number of dice. If it's not piloted, it uses this number of dice. To make it less of a threat, you know? Examining both points of interest, sabotaging the Iron Tyrant, or entering the room after the guards outside to raise the alarm alerts everyone in the hangar and triggers the action event rules. The scene comprises 4 armed guards. No, Microsoft Word, it's doing it again. They're not guards with 4 arms. Stop and shitifying my software, please. The officer, the Iron Tyrant, and 2 technicians. The 3 scientists scattered around. Let's just get rid of that. The guards work together to pin the characters in place while the officer, who begins at medium range from the Iron Tyrant, tries to get into its pilot seat and operate it. The technicians will attempt a difficulty 2 roll to restore 1 injury, but don't attack the characters. I need to double check something regarding antagonists. Apologies for the very strangely emphasized sibilance there. Yeah, they have health boxes instead. I thought that was the case. But don't attack the characters. If the momentum pool is ever empty and the lock to room 2 is broken, the trapped guards arrive on the scene. The hangar is one large field dotted with a mixture of light and heavy cover. A heavy cargo crane can be used as a weapon. With a difficulty 1 athletic strength roll, it provides +2 enhancement as the blunt, brutal, and pushing tags, and the difficulty increased power for enrichment controls on multiple. Cool. I think I should mention the crane here. Loaded with a crane attached to one wall. Just because it feels silly, like, that's something that players will notice when they enter the room. And if you're going to use read aloud text, it's like first impression text. I'm 8 words over. Gosh dang it. They are in the middle of the room if they are discovered. Successor goes down. Tyrant has a pilot seat in his hands. What do we go? Pin the characters in place by the officer. Right. I think that's good. I feel like first draft, that's good. Obviously things will change in the editing pass, polishing, whatever you want to call it, and I'll add titles and whatnot. So I'm thinking, so this is a bi-weekly, fortnightly stream. So the next one should be the 21st of April. Well, I'm thinking about it. That will be the last one for a month then, because I'm away on the 5th of... I'm actually on holiday on the 5th of May. So next stream, I will probably do some antagonist design. I think I've done that before on stream. You can do that for Scion. And then we'll see how long that takes. But, you know, I've got guards to stat up, a Robo T-Rex to stat up, an officer to stat up. It probably won't take the full, like, 2 hours I'm normally allotted, but it's something. If I have time, I could maybe work on, like, my ideas for hex crawling. It's not going to be a full hex crawl mechanic for Trinity Continuum Adventure. It's just going to be something quick and dirty, much like the Mario Kart rules I wrote for for StoryPath Ultra, I think it was. A while ago, in response to just something I saw on the Onyx Path Discord server, and I was like, I need to make this now. So, save my document. There we go. I think here endeth the stream. I've now written 4,500 words of hopefully good introductory adventure. Obviously, it's not yet finished. Needs to do some antagonist work. And then I'll probably leave it for a few weeks before coming back to it and polishing it and doing layout and stuff. But maybe by the end of the year it'll be available for purchase. You hope the burnout does not come. I'm already burnt out. It's whether it gets worse or not. What I'm probably going to do is play a video game for like half an hour, and then I've got some chores I need to do around the house. However, that is by the by. Ordinarily, I would say please join me over at twitch.tv/ComradeBubbles for some video game streams. I'm currently playing through Mass Effect 2 for the fourth time. However, I do not have time to do that today. I have housework that needs doing, and food needs to be cooked for later, and it's just got a longer cooking time than normal. So that is not happening, regrettably. But you can still follow me there. I'm hoping to stream on Thursday, and Friday. So hopefully there's some good content there if you're interested. But as I said, this will be up on the StoryPath Nexus. If you don't know what the StoryPath Nexus is, I realized I never explained that. It is a community content platform where you can write material like this using Onyx Path rule sets and make 50% royalties, I believe it is. So that's pretty cool. If you missed it at the start of the episode, the best place to go for Onyx Path updates is the... I've got two tabs open, so make sure I've got the right one. Is the Monday meeting note, or are the Monday meeting notes? Right now, important news being that the crowdfunding campaign coming out this week, I believe it was, is the Curseborn Jumpstart. This month, sorry, not this week. It's the Curseborn Jumpstart. If you want to get in on Curseborn and you're looking for an introductory adventure, but also comes with rules. The game jam ends this Saturday. Okay, the Monday meeting note says Saturday the 11th, but the previous Monday meeting note said Friday the 10th. So one of those two. 2 bundles right now. Pugmire bundle over on Fanatical has the first edition Pugmire content, and over at Bundle of Holding there is a Scion bundle. And on sale this week we have the Accursed Adventures, being 3 scenarios for Curseborn with supplementary material to help you run those adventures. If you have missed any of the show and are interested in it, if you are subscribed on Twitch, you can just watch the video on demand instantly. I'll be generous with some posts on Saturday, but it was ended on Friday originally, I think. Totally fair. Yeah, you can watch it instantly, video on demand. If you're not subscribed on Twitch, you have a couple of options. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link that to your Prime Gaming account. To your Twitch account to get a Prime Gaming account, and that gives you 1 free subscription a month. It lasts 30 days and you have to manually renew it, but it gives you and the channel all of the same benefits as if you were a subscriber. So you could use that here. You could just subscribe, obviously, or you have to wait a week, at which point you can watch it here. You can watch it on Twitch, or if you swing by youtube.com/@comradebubbles, that's my YouTube channel, you can watch it there without having to pay for Twitch subscription. This show, as I've said, is fortnightly, so I should be back, all being well, on the 21st of April with maybe the last of the series. Going out on episode 10 might be cool, but we'll see. I have no idea what I'm doing for the next series, so that's exciting, because I don't want to go into writing another adventure, and the only thing that's outstanding right now is a Scion Hero adventure, so I'll need to take a step back and think about what I can do and see what game lines Onyx Path would like supporting on the Nexus and Canis Minor and other platforms. Not that I can really do much to support that, because these take months to do, if not years. So here we are. That's a problem for the future. I think that's everything. So the next show on the channel, according to the schedule at the very least, is a new one, Expanding Your Realms for Branch Riders. I believe that is with someone from the Badana group themselves. Designer team members Jack Birkenstock and Doug Hagler, I apologize for any mispronunciations, discussing the Branch Rider system and how to get the most out of it at your table. It is a 7-week journey into the unique mechanics of the game, so that's pretty cool. Don't forget, people can late pledge for the Scarred Lands Player's Guide Savage Worlds on Kickstarter. Yes, you should do that. You should absolutely do that, and you should also buy the Creature Collection one for the Scarred Lands Savage Worlds edition. I think that's everything. So, I'll be around for a few minutes while the post-roll rolls if you have any questions. But until next time, as ever, please do stay safe. Please do, dear God, stay safe right now. Stay healthy, stay wholesome, and much love to you all. Goodbye.